Hi, I'm Dominic Knight and welcome to my channel. Today's topic, which I'm going to share with you, is about how to achieve any goal and why traditional goal setting does not work, and it actually cannot work without this particular ingredient. Now I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about that one thing that you want more than anything else in this world. Now, why don't you have it yet? And I'll explain this to you. And it's a really interesting one because in the current world of affairs, there's so much information out there about manifestation, law of attraction, how to set goals, how to achieve X, Y, and Z. I'm going to give you the perspective of how to achieve what you want in the most practical way, in a way where it will come naturally and easily for you. The things I'll be sharing with you are things that you probably haven't heard yet, but these will be the components that can help you hit the target every single time. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. Our nervous system, our bodies and our minds operate and act as a preservation system. If you've got some huge goal out there, your unconscious mind does not care. What it cares is about maintaining the status quo. The mind and body acts as a, how do I put it, as a prediction machine. If you try and do something outside of your normal routine, it literally creates this self-sabotage mechanism that gets in the way. The only way to move forward is to override that. Let me give you an example. Can you do the box splits like a ballerina? Right, no. But here's the thing, you can. If a surgeon put an anesthetic in you and put you to sleep, what happens is the legs could split completely with zero muscle tear. So why can't one get into the splits just when they're awake? It's because of guardrails. The brain, what it does is it puts these guardrails in place that lock that person's potential to do those things. So the way you get around that, and the most powerful way of getting around those guardrails, is with hypnosis, with hacking the unconscious mind. So if you think about it this way, if you see people who want to get in great shape, but they never get there, they get part of the way and then they're suddenly back to where they started. This is why if you see people are overweight, they're overweight all the time. Someone's in great shape, they're in great shape all the time. Someone's very wealthy, most of the time they're very wealthy. Someone who's confident all the time. Like, why? Because it's identity based. When you're in a paradigm, which is a way of saying a habit or a natural way of doing things, it becomes automatic. If you have a goal to achieve something, the only way that you can do it is to ensure your identity is consistent with the outcome that you want, and that your mind perceives your ability to do that as safe. Now we're getting a little bit complicated here, so just stay with me and it will all make sense. In fact, you might want to watch this a couple of times to really, really get the message. The mind's primary goal is self-preservation and to keep the status quo. This is why people, they self-sabotage. Someone wants to be in a great relationship, but they completely screw it up. Why? The difficulty isn't getting in there, it's the maintaining of it. So as one is maintaining it, what happens is if the unconscious thinks it's unsafe, they'll self-sabotage. That holds true for everything from wealth to getting in the best shape of your life. The only way to change this is with visualization. Now stay with me here. If I were to ask you to visualize and to remember and to imagine your first school, if we scanned your brain, guess what would happen? Would have these neural networks in your brain light up. Now, here's the really interesting thing. If I got you to imagine visually a future and an outcome in the future, and you really connect with it, guess what? The same neural pathways light up. Your brain thinks it's real. So in order for you to achieve what you want, the only way is to dwell on it and to visualize it with absolute certainty, to embody it and embody a time past the accomplishment. If you do that, your brain thinks it's real and it feels the safety in that. Why almost every system fails is that they will visualize, but they're not visualizing at a time past the outcome. That's the real missing secret. Now, having been based in Harley Street for well over 20 years, having worked with people in Formula One, having worked with a former president, having worked with athletes of the highest caliber, gold medalists, I know this world so well. Now, it's not a matter of I've worked with these great people. No, I've taken people from the inception of an idea and got them to the result they've wanted. That's proof of what works. Basically, here's the thing, right? If you look, they say anorexia on average takes 5 to 7 years to cure, to be able to start functioning normally. No, I mean, the reason I've been able to take people within a few seconds, within a few minutes of a session, to having pizzas and things like that, or going out to a pizza restaurant with me there and then, it's not this, well, I've just suddenly convinced them to do that. No, it's far beyond that. In our brain, we have something called mirror neurons. So we literally mirror one another's beliefs. That also within the nervous system, our nervous system mirrors. This is why a lot of traditional therapies and well-meaning doctors, why it cannot work with them. The reason why it cannot work is really simple. They have a very deep understanding that these problems cannot be solved and these problems will take years. So when they're helping someone, they're well-meaning, but they don't believe that they can help them, or they think it's going to take many years. So the person's always spinning their wheels. Now, I actually don't believe any of that. I believe that a problem can be changed as quickly as it started, at the speed of thought. So my sense of self-belief, it resonates with the mirror neurons, and it resonates with their own autonomic nervous system. It's a fact. So my mere belief and certainty within them, I can help guide them to make the right decisions. You know, this is a really powerful thing. And this is why you can have all the accolades in the world. It means nothing, absolute nothing, without certainty. Now, within the videos to come, I'm going to be helping people create phenomenal, fast change, quick change at the speed of thought. And also for other people out there, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, who are spinning their wheels and not really getting the results. In fact, Freud, if you think of Freud, this crazy thing, he never cured a human being, not a single person. You can find people out there that have never even been able to get to a point of helping someone. Well, they can help them somewhat, but they haven't resolved it fundamentally. I'll be sharing the secrets of what I've learned over the years with methods and techniques to get the results, and get the results every time. But today, I want you to remember and understand mirror neurons. And for the guys out there who are watching this, years ago, there was this whole PUA pickup community of people trained in meeting women and seducing women and X, Y, and Z. The reason that it didn't work, it worked only for a small percentage of men, was really simple. It wasn't money and looks. It was to do with their own level of internal authenticity and integrity and self-belief in what they were saying. Because here's the thing, if someone says lines parrot fashion, the other person picks up on that. There's no connection. It fizzles out, it disappears. If a person is authentic and congruent with what they believe, the other person has that connection. They receive that, they understand that that connection is real. And we can look at the world of sales. A number of years ago, I helped a friend's company reach the fastest growing tech company inside of 2 years. They must have made, I don't know the final figures, but hundreds of millions of dollars. It wasn't the scripts. It's that sense of certainty, that sense of self-belief. This isn't esoteric mysticism. This is absolute fact. If you believe that what you are giving to the other person, you're ethically and morally obliged to serve them, that it's for their best interest, they're going to win. And you absolutely know that to be true. You're not trying to target some sales quota or get X amount of money, but you absolutely know that to be true. Guess what? That person believes that as well. You've got a connection, you've made that sale. In future videos, I'll be breaking this down in greater detail, helping you become super successful at any area that you so wish. The other thing is, I know a lot of different people who have been very highly successful in the world of dating coaches and what have you. Having my practice in Harley Street for over 2 decades, I've worked with many, but the majority were women. So understanding the male and female psychology very, very well, and what it takes to attract your ideal partner, because women are bombarded with what they should do in order to achieve the guy that, or to obtain the person that they want, the guy that they want for their lives. And men are bombarded another narrative of how to become that person and, you know, all the things that they need to do in order to attract the woman of their desire, and modern women and modern men and X, Y, and Z, which is all complete nonsense. It's just a few fundamental things. Men feel that, and they think that they need X amount of income, they need to look a particular way, they need X, Y, and Z in order to achieve the woman that they want. It doesn't really work that way. And women will, on the other hand, think, well, I need to be this new boss babe, or I need to be X amount, or men only go for X. None of that is true, right? That's just, these narratives, it's not how the human mind and how the human body works. I want you to think about this. Like, have you ever met someone that maybe you didn't connect with them right away, but over time you found yourself hopelessly in love with them? Like they became your whole world. Men and women, yes, right? Everyone's experienced that. If you really look at it, it wasn't the person's bank account or that person's look. There were other things fundamentally going on underneath the surface that contributed to that, right? They were the things that cultivated those desires. Now, here's the thing. Looks, wealth, X, Y, and Z, you can only have so much. They can be capped. However, attraction can't. Feelings can't. If you learn how to communicate in a way that evokes those feelings within that person, or even not communicate verbally, but with what you feel, you'll be able to hack the system. Within the videos that I'll be sharing with you, I'm like an open book. Nothing is held back. I'm going to give you everything. So stay tuned for more.